Hey, it's Chris Chico, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you how to build the ultimate wholesale real estate business, a business that you can generate an unlimited amount of leads, high quality leads, people that are interested in talking to you. Number two is that you're able to expand your business nationwide. So you're no longer limited to one market, and that you can close more deals easily and a lot easier because of the fact that we are now a welcome guest, not an annoying pest. What this is in a nutshell, just to make sure everybody's here on the same page, is that there's over 5.65 million there's over 5.6 million homes that are sold throughout the US every single year. And the majority of these properties, 97%, are sold through agents and for sale by owner. But what about the rest? What about the 3%? Where are these properties going? Well, these homes are never officially on the market and they're not available to the general public. And these homes are property owners that must sell, but they're not able to list on the multiple listing service or maybe on the open market because of various issues. They have lots of repairs needed. There's tenants that are in the property that are not paying rent, that are maybe trashing the place, and so therefore that's creating a problem for them. They inherited the property. Maybe they need a fast sale. Maybe they're located in a small town. If we're lucky, they have multiple of these things going on. What's the opportunity? The opportunity is that they're buyers that are actually looking for these type of properties. Landlords, property flippers, hedge fund buyers, stock market investors. Now, the problem is that these buyers, these property owners that these buyers are looking for, the property owners are hiding. They're not officially on the market. And these investors don't have the manpower or the methods to locate these property owners. And what's the scenario is that the majority of these deals are located in a lot of smaller little towns. And I'll share with you some case studies to show you how much money there is in these small towns. And so trying to find these deals all across the country in these small little towns is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And that's where you come in. Because when you can locate these property owners, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute and how we do that, then the investors will pay you a finder's fee, aka an assignment fee, as in wholesaling. However, my approach, the way that we do this is a lot different than a lot of other people out there. And how does our system work? Well, the way our system works is that our business is focused on nationwide. So we're doing deals nationwide, number one. We're finding, so that's number one, we're across the entire USA. Now, we go out and find these motivated sellers. They actually find us. And I'll walk you through this entire process through online lead generation, through either Facebook, TikTok, or Google Ads. And the great thing is that we get exactly the right type of prospect that has the type of problems that would get them to be in a position where they say, hey, I think I want to sell directly to a buyer versus listing the property. And we avoid all the outdating methods such as cold calling, driving for dollars. And, now we have inbound leads. Then we talk to these people and we figure out who's the right prospect, who's the right property. And we go ahead and put these properties on the contract. And we never own the property and we just secure the contract. And then we go out and we find an investor buyer who's looking for this exact type of deal. And we use various platforms and various ways. And I'll share with you what we do. And we make a profit from doing that. And the great thing about my business model and the way I operate is that the leads are generated automatically. So while I'm here talking to you, there's actually property owners right now looking at our ads and then submitting their information and saying, yes, please, I'm interested in selling my house. Please call me. And the great thing is that the business is easily scalable because unlike other strategies that require you to get more data and hire more humans and all that other stuff, with my strategy, all you got to do is log on to your computer, change the budget, and next thing you know, tomorrow, you've doubled your business. And that's a great thing about the way we do it. And also minimal overhead. Who wants overhead? We can operate this business with a laptop, a phone, and very inexpensive tools for lead management. And we can hire a virtual assistant to do some of the manual grunt work. And in the end, what we want to do is we want to create a low stress, high profit business that allows us to close deals and be able to do that in a streamlined fashion. Now, the old way of wholesaling is where you go out and you get a list of potential property owners, like this list that you see here, and you figure out like, hey, who might be interested in selling the property at a discount? Well, the problem is that getting this list and cultivating and doing everything required to do this. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Plus, the problem is that now I got a couple of problems with this. Number one is gotta gotta get these lists and get them more organized and everything else. Then what happens is most real estate investors, maybe you're doing the same thing, is that they target these prospects via old school methods, driving for dollars, sending out postcards and letters, cold calling. And the issue with all these strategies is that there's a lot of competition. Why? Because everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's targeting the same list. And with a lot of these strategies, such as cold calling, you are an annoying pest instead of a welcome guest because they never reached out to you. And when you call them, they're like, "Who are you? Why'd you call me?" And they think you're a scam. So there's a lot of friction associated with some of these strategies. The new way is that number one is that we're going to expand beyond our local area. So we're going to be doing deals all across the country. We're going to be avoiding wasting time with some of these outdated strategies. We're going to focus on high quality inbound leads, warm leads that are wanting to hear from me. It's such a nice conversation with them. They're like, "Hey, how you doing? Let's talk." Lay down deals over high pressure sales. This is very important. And with a lot of these tactics, because you're in competition with a lot of other real estate investors and there's a lot going on in the background, and you got to be aggressive. You got to be a sales ninja. And some of us are cut out for that. Some of us are not. I'd rather just have nice, pleasant conversations with people and lower competition in these smaller markets. Now, if you're new, here's why this model, I think, is superior to anything else out there. Number one, consistent, warm, incoming leads. And these are just people waiting to hear from you. It's easy to scale. So all we do is just simply change the number on a computer screen. If I was running a budget of $25 a day and tomorrow I want double the leads, I just change my budget and I put $50 a day. And that's easy. Nationwide reach. So now we're not limited to one market. We have expanded into the entire country. And now we're not in a position where if the market that we're working in gets rough, now we're out of business. Not here, not with this model. We're going to master the most important skill you could ever master in real estate or in any business for that matter, which is getting customers. And the best way to get customers is through online marketing. And when you have control of that, you also have control of the most important thing in your business, lower lead cost. Because if you are out there and you hire an agency or you are paying companies per lead, there's companies out there that are the pay per lead model where they will generate these leads and they will sell them to you. The problem is that they sell you leads that they bought for $25, selling to you for like $300. Wouldn't you want to just cut out the middleman and get the same lead that you're going to pay with them $300? Now you can get that lead for $25. And most importantly is that we shift our model from a selling to a sifting and sorting model, meaning that if you only got a few leads, then man, you got to do your best to try and sell these people, right? Because you only have so many leads. But if you're in a situation where now you have leads coming in every single day, the whole day, then if somebody's an ass, if somebody is difficult, if they want too much money, then you just say the magical word next, and you wait for the next lead or you go on to the next person. So instead of the convincing business, now we are in the sifting and sorting business, which I think is a much more, much pleasant business to be in. Now, this model is for you investors. So if you're looking to get started, then we can help you avoid all the pain and suffering associated with all those old school strategies. Unless you want to be in the cold calling penitentiary every day, dialing and feeling like, oh my gosh, I thought I was in real estate. I'm in telemarketing. And so we can help you avoid all the mistakes and put you in a great position. Now, if you're struggling, it could be that, hey, the biggest thing I see for real estate investors is that a lot of them struggle with lead generation. Like that is the most important thing. Like if you don't have lead generation figured out, then what ends up happening is that every single day or every single month, you're like, oh, how am I going to get leads? How am I going to get leads? You need to put a system in place. Then now you know that predictably, it's just going to bring you leads. And now you can focus on the rest of the business, i.e. closing deals and finding buyers and all the other stuff that makes money. So if you're struggling, it could be that you're just approaching and struggling with that strategy. And if we can implement a great model, lead generation, and everything else I'm going to discuss here, then now you finally can get some traction in your business. Now, if you're an experienced investor, then this is great because now if you want to expand and want to do more deals, you could go out and try to do the same thing you're doing in your local market and try to tough it out with a lot of other real estate investors. And it'll be a grind. However, you could implement this model, which allow you to expand horizontally instead of vertically, meaning that instead of digging into one market and trying to squeeze out, a few more juice out of that tired lemon, why not go out and get more lemons? That's what we're talking about, going wider. Now, the principles, and I'm not going to go through these. You can actually pause the video and read through these, but these are the principles that we're working here for this business model. Lifestyle freedom, right? My philosophy is that I want a business that allows me freedom and flexibility. And flexibility and mobility, meaning that I can work from anywhere. All it requires is a laptop and a phone and an internet connection, and that's it. I want my business to be simple. I don't want a lot of moving pieces. I don't want to hire a bunch of, contractors and have to deal with VAs and, hire like 10 cold callers. Who wants that? Who's going to manage those people? I want a simple business. That's what this model is predicated upon. Then, the strategic and business philosophy here is that we're going to expand our service area by going nationwide, increase the level of opportunities that we have, which also it decreases how much we're paying for a lead, and also allows us to have more opportunities in general. So we don't want to be restricted by a local market, and we want to be able to have a business that's small, profitable, and scalable. I don't want complicated things. I want something that is simple but brings a lot of money. Also, we want to avoid the traditional real estate grind, all the stuff I talked about, cold calling and everything else, right? And we want to focus on low stress, high quality deals. And in order to get low stress, high quality deals, we need enough prospects that if we get a prospect that is a pain in the butt, we can say, guess what? You're out of here, buddy. Next, because I'm going to go to the next person that I have here in my queue of all the leads I have. And we want a business that is easily automated, which we can do with these online platforms, and is easily scalable, and then easily outsource and manage effectively. And with regards to lead generation, the principle here is that lead generation is the lifeblood of your business, right? I would rather you be the most amazing lead generator and less than stellar real estate investor, because if you don't only know how one way to do a deal, but you got a lot of leads, I guarantee you'll make money. The opposite is true. You could have 10 ways that you can slice and dice a deal. You're like a deal ninja, but yet if you got no prospects, you ain't going to make any money. So that's something really to consider. Become an expert marketer, not an expert real estate investor. And we want to fix the lead generation problem. And this is very, very important, because again, if your constant focus is how am I going to get leads, you never have a chance to work on the other parts of the business. You need to fix the lead generation problem, and it needs to be consistent and needs to be automated, so it's always working in the background without you having to do too much to it. And again, we want lay down deals over high pressure sales. We want low hanging fruit. It's a sifting and sorting game. That's the game that we're in with this particular model. Hey, in case you don't know me, the guy with the bald head, my name is Cris Chico. I'm married to my wife, Roz, who's my high school sweetheart. We have 2 daughters. I live in Plantation, Florida. And I was actually born in the island of Puerto Rico. If you can tell my accent, I came here to the U.S. living on welfare and food stamps. And below is actually houses that I lived in. And now I created a tremendous life and a tremendous lifestyle, really because of real estate. So my goal here today is I want to help you get traction in your real estate business, because I know how much of an impact it's had on me and my life. And if I could help you do that, I mean, I love getting testimonials. And we have over 10,000 students. And I love getting, them telling me, hey, you changed my life. I now have a full-time real estate business. I was able to quit my job. I was able to pay for my kids' tuition, all that because of real estate. So I'm going to be able to help you do that. And I'm considered the godfather of virtual wholesaling. Now, a lot of people are using virtual wholesaling out there, and some people are saying, oh, yeah, I created virtual wholesaling. But I was the one that originated the concept back in 2005. I was doing virtual wholesaling, eventually registered the domains in 2007. I owned all the domains. And this was before Google Street View, if you can imagine a world without Google Street View. And I've also been a pioneer in a lot of the real estate marketing strategies, ugly postcards, third notice, final notice. Some of these postcards would get a lot of, they get people like excited in a negative way. Like we always get news stations that say, People are getting all these strange postcards and they're trying to figure out who they are. And I never raised my hand and said, oh, it's me. But 24-hour recorded messages, getting cash buyers through public records. There's a lot of people out there. That's a common thing in our niche, right? Hey, yeah, we're going to go public records department and pull all the recent cash buyers. I was one that originated that concept way back because out of necessity. And I was the first to crack the code when it comes to Facebook marketing for real estate investors. And then now we actually help in all platforms. So we can generate leads on TikTok, on Facebook, and on Google. So let's walk through real quick what the nationwide wholesaling model is. And that is by number one is we're going to use online marketing to find the deals, because if you're doing deals nationwide, you cannot use conventional tactics. It has to be through online marketing in order for you to be able to generate the leads. Otherwise, it's just not cost effective. Then we're going to evaluate the deal, and I'll share with you how we do that. And then we're going to find the buyers, and we're going to get paid. It's the simplest model possible. And step number one is that we use Facebook, we use Google, and we use TikTok ads in order to get people to raise their hand and to say, yes, I'm interested in selling my property at a discount. And I'll walk you through all the different platforms here. How Facebook works. Facebook is predominantly images and videos. We use videos like you see on the left. Keep those videos under 60 seconds. Images we make on a platform called canva.com. You can look that up, not now, but later. And videos are edited with an app called CapCut. If you don't know how to use it, if you have a kid, they probably know how to use it. But it's really simple. You can actually do them on your phone, and you can record yourself if you're camera shy and don't know how to talk to the camera, don't want to. You can always hire somebody on Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and pay them $100. They'll do a video for you, and off to the races you go. This is an example on the right of one of our ads here, how it looks like. And the way Facebook works is you get a bunch of these images and you get a bunch of these videos and you load them up and you put them into the system. And you also need some headlines, and you put in the ad copy like you see here. You can actually pause the video and maybe grab some of these if you wanted to. And there's some ad copy here. Keeping in mind is that for here, the headline, the most important thing with Facebook is going to be your images and your videos primarily. Number two would be your headline here, because they're always going to see the headline. And then the first sentence and a half of your primary text. They may not even click to read the rest of it. They just will see these parts and say, okay, I'm ready. I want to have an offer on my property. And then we collect the information through Facebook's own internal lead form system. And this is an example of what we ask. We ask, hey, what type of property is this? Is your property listed with an agent? What's the condition of the property? What's the location? How soon would you like to sell? What's your asking price? Who's living at the property? What's the reason for selling? And we collect their name, email, and phone, and then we reach out to them. How TikTok ad works is basically TikTok is only video, so there's no images. So the one on the left is me, as you can tell. The one on the right isn't me with a wig. It's actually a lady that we got on Fiverr. We paid her $100. She did a video, and that's how we do TikTok. And so it's only video for TikTok. And TikTok has their own internal lead form system. These are the kind of questions we ask. What type of property it is. It's basically the same questions as Facebook. Is your property listed with an agent? What's the condition of the property? Reason for selling? Who's living at the property? What's the property address? What's your asking price? And again, we're getting just the information that we need in order to figure out if this is the viable lead. And then we're going to go ahead and give them a call. How Google works. Google is, out of all the platforms, Google is the more complicated. All right. And will require a little bit more budget. So with Facebook, and I don't have this in the presentation here, but in general, you can start Facebook with $25 a day. That would be kind of like the bottom ad budget, and $25 a day you can do nationwide. You can get a couple leads a day. With Google, and the same thing would apply. TikTok might be a little bit more expensive. Let's say you'll pay an average of $20 a lead, but the leads are good. And also a lot of people ask me, well, Chico, are my prospects are older people. Are they on TikTok? I don't have a graphic here to illustrate this, but when we look at our conversion statistics, it shows that the majority of the conversions are people over the age of 44. So yes, our prospects are on TikTok. And with regards to Google, Google has a lot more options, and it does require a higher budget. So as a beginner, I don't recommend it. If you're experienced already doing deals, then certainly this would work for you. There's YouTube ads. There's search campaigns where people type in, sell my house fast. There's new campaign types called demand gen and PMAX. which a lot of people are not doing. We are, and we're getting phenomenal results with these. So these are the various options with Google. And also with Google, you need a landing page, whereas with Facebook and TikTok, you can get away with using their own internal system of collecting the prospects information. With Google, you are required to use a landing page. So you have to create a converting landing page. You have to make sure that all that is in place. Which, by the way, if you're interested, you can click the link in the description, and we can certainly help you with setting all this entire system up for you and showing you how to run it, and even help you do deals that you get from the system. The next step is going to be analyzing the deals and negotiating a better price. So we're going to call the leads back that submit their information. Remember, they filled out the form. They're expecting us. So it's a nice, warm, friendly conversation. We're not chasing them. They are chasing us. And in general, these are the most important things we need to know. What are you asking? Why you're selling? What's the condition of the property? How soon do you want to sell? And then from that, we have enough information to then determine, hey, is this a prospect that we're going to be working with or not? And we use Zillow 99.995% of the time in order to analyze our deals. And we get a variety of different types of deals. We get deals that are in large cities, so those are great. We get deals in small towns, which I'll show you a case study here real quick. So there's money in small towns. And we get deals in the middle of nowhere. If it is in the middle of nowhere, there's no activity, there's nothing going on, then it's just going to be a scratch lead that we say, we ain't calling this one, sorry. But it's okay because we get leads all the time coming in every single day. And, we also look at whether or not the market is active. So in this example, the dots on the red are active listings. The dots on the right are sold properties over the last 90 days. We see this. Even if we don't know anything about the market, we know that, hey, there's life here. There's people living, buying, and selling property. So guess what? It's a viable market. An example would be Temple, Texas. I didn't even know that Temple, Texas existed until this lead came in. Now you might be thinking, Chico, how could you not know where Temple, Texas is? Well, I'm geographically uh, not that great. I only know Florida and Europe. That's where I go. And so I didn't know where Temple, Texas was. But Temple, Texas is located between Austin and Waco, Texas, a smaller town compared to like where I live in Broward County, which has a 2 million population. And we got this lead in, asking 60,000. That's what they're asking. That's what they put on the form. And we look on Zillow and it says, oh, it's worth 129. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that I think there might be something here. House worth 120, owner asking 60. Well, we look on Zillow, and even though I didn't know where Temple, Texas was, I looked it up and I saw all these dots, and I said, oh, I guess people like Temple, Texas, because they look like they're buying and selling in here. And then we negotiate with the seller, and I use negotiate. I should probably use a different word. We just ask him, hey, can you do better? Because it's a little bit too much for me. And again, we're not negotiating hard, but on this particular property, we got them down to 35,000 from 60. And most importantly, and then we got the property in the contract. Now we get the property in the contract. There's no down payment. There's no deposit. There's no getting a bank loan. We didn't inspect the property also. And during this whole process, we have not inspected the property. All we're doing is we have a framework to analyzing deals just using on Zillow, and through the owner's conversation, we can have with pretty good accuracy know what the property is worth. And again, without knowing anything about repairs or fixing up or nothing like that. And then the next step would be is now we have the property in the contract. We are going to go ahead and find the buyers. So we're going to get the seller to take photos. We don't get photos before we have it on the contract. We want to get it on the contract first. Then we get photos from the owner. The owner sometimes can take photos from it. We can use Google Street View. And then we will use a service like HomeJab in order to get photos taken of the property. This is an example of that deal, Temple, Texas. This is how it looked like. A little bit messy, but it's okay. That's what we like. We like properties that are messy. And we originally listed the property at 70 because we're trying to make, a lot of money. But at the end, we ended up making 15K. You might be thinking, Chico, that's a lot of money, $15,000. I know, but I live in Miami. That barely pays for the gas, the Lamborghini, and the night at the club over the weekend. I'm a little old for that, but you get my drift. I don't do that often. So we made 15 grand on that deal. And so again, this is the ultimate business model. It's 100% virtual transaction. We never met with the owners, buyers, or personally inspected the property. We also didn't have any intimate knowledge about the market that the property was located in. It was new to me. And we got everything done virtually, all of our documents, everything signed virtually through PandaDoc. That's what we use, pandadoc.com, if you wanted to know that. And this is our model. And it's the easiest model, I believe, for anyone to get started with. Now, if you're interested in implementing this model, we have a couple different options. You could watch another video that I have here if you want to just dig in further, or you can just reach out, link in the description, DM me on Instagram, the word Flipanywhere, or on Facebook, and then I can share with you how we can build this entire system for you, even train you how to do it, and also do deals with you that you generate from this system. So